everyone, it's Arlene from Arlene's Creations, and today I'm going to show you how I made my Deco Podge sign using the napkins from the Dollar Tree. So I have my block of wood here, and I had my Jacobine Minwax Stain. So I already sanded my board, and this was just scrap wood that I picked up behind, I think it was Target. They were throwing out a whole bunch of wood. So I got a bunch of these pieces, this size. And so I just sanded it down real nice, and now I'm just staining it with the stain, rubbing it on. I'm doing all the sides, the front. And after I stain it, I'm going to let it dry completely. It's very hot out today, so I'm going to put it outside in the backyard. It should dry very quickly. Feels like it's 100 degrees outside. And you can stain your wood any color you would like. I just happen to like this Jacobine color. I use it for a lot of my wood pieces. I just love it. And I'm going to also stain the back. And you want to make sure that you get the stain inside all of those cracks of the wood. Really good. I love the way this side came out, because after I stained it, you can actually see like all the rings of the wood. And it looks so nice. Excuse me, I'm tired. Just doing this voiceover. Thank God I have gloves on. Thank God I had an extra pair, because I usually stain without gloves and my fingers are a mess after that. So now I'm just staining the back. You want to get a good coat on everything. Now that it's all stained, I'm just going to wipe it down a little bit, and then I'm going to put it outside for it to dry, probably for about 2 or 3 hours. It'll probably take less time than that, because like I said, it's super hot outside. But normally you would want to wait overnight for your stain to really dry very well. If you're just drying it in the house on a rack or just sitting on the table. But I'll be putting it outside, so it's going to dry so much faster. So now that my wood is all nice and dry, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Waverly chalk paint. I believe this is Plaster. It's either Plaster or white. Those are the two colors I have. I believe it's Plaster. And I'm just going to go over the front and the sides. I'm not going to do the back. And why I'm doing this is because, yeah, it's Plaster. Why I'm doing this is because after this dries, then I'm going to take some sandpaper to it, and I'm going to sand it in spots so it looks very distressed before I start adding my napkins to it. And this is a super easy, super inexpensive project to do, and it makes just a nice little addition to your holiday decor. Actually, when my niece came over, we cleaned out the garage. She helped me, and she said, "Oh, did you just make that?" I said, "Yeah, I just made it yesterday." She stole it off my table, and she took it home with her, so I have to make myself another one. I said, "Yeah, you can have it, Jenna. You did a lot for me today." I said, "Sure, take it." But she already had it in her hand, so even if I said no, she was still going to take it anyhow. You know how kids are. So see how you see all the rings to the wood? I love that. I think that looks so cool. And like I said, after this dries, I'm going to sand it, so I'll be showing you that. Just gives it such a nice farmhouse, rustic, country look and feel to the piece after you sand it and make it very distressed. You don't have to do this part if you don't want. You could just put your napkin and decoupage it right onto the wood without doing this step, but I just prefer this step added. So now that it's all painted on the sides and in the front, I'm just going to let it dry. This paint dries so fast. It won't even take 20 minutes to dry probably, now that I think about it. Chalk paint dries very, very quickly. So now that my piece is totally dry, I have these napkins that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. And so what I did, I have a few different types. I took the backing off of it, so it's just one ply. So the backing is off of it. And I'm just positioning it onto my board to see how, if I want to put the whole napkin, if I want to cut out the pumpkins and do them separate. So at this point, I really wasn't sure what I was going to do yet. My plan was just to put the whole thing on, and then I said, well, if I put the whole thing on, how am I going to see the distressed wood through it? So that's why I decided to cut out the pumpkins. And then I had another napkin. If you see the writing that's behind the pumpkins on this one, I have another napkin that had a lot of writing on it and just pumpkins along the bottom. So I thought it would be pretty neat if I put the words on one side and then put the pumpkin on top of it. So that's what I was actually doing. But then after I decoupaged it onto the wood, you really couldn't see the lettering that much. I mean, my niece said, she goes, oh, I could see the lettering, but my eyes are bad, so I really couldn't see the lettering that well. But, see, I was going to do it like that, and then I decided not to. I decided to actually cut the pumpkins out. But that would have made a nice little piece if you just would have decoupaged it on like that. And to put the napkins onto the wood, I use the Mod Podge in the matte finish. They have gloss, they have satin, but for all of my projects that I do, it's basically like the farmhouse look, so I don't want them shiny. You know, the more matte and distressed and old looking it is, the better. For me anyhow, but if you wanted to do like a glossy sheen over it, you would use the glossy, and it would make it very shiny as if it was like polyurethane or whatever. Yeah, so I think this is where I'm going to start cutting out the pumpkins. I only do one pumpkin. I did previously cut out on my Cricut machine the words that say give thanks. So I will be stenciling that phrase onto it, just a little tiny, you know, little words to the left of the board. I'm going to put the pumpkin to the right. And like I said, it's so easy to do. You just paint your wood, get a napkin, take the back off. So you just want it one ply, and then you adhere it with the Mod Podge. And that's it. You're done. Super easy. The hardest part is trying to figure out what you want to put on the board and where you want to place it. Seriously, that's the hardest part. So if you just have a piece of wood laying in the backyard that you just want to sand up and stain, and just go to the Dollar Tree, or any napkins you have in the house that have a nice picture on it. They have some beautiful napkins out there. You can really make some nice ones. And, you know, for a couple bucks, you have yourself a nice little piece of decor for your home. So I'm just cutting out the second pumpkin, but I don't think I used that. I don't remember. Yeah, no, I didn't use it. Like I said, my niece took the piece, so I don't have it here. And I'm doing this voiceover a couple days after I did the project. So, I mean, I took the videos. I'm just putting them together now. So here's the board, and I think this is where I'm going to start sanding it. So I just take a piece of sandpaper by hand. If you have an electric sander, which I do, you can do that as well, but I didn't feel like going out to the garage. So see how I'm just sanding some of that white paint off? In the corners, I do going down the whole piece, and it's just leaving some of the white paint on, and it's taking some of the paint off. And it gives it that old rustic distressed look. I absolutely love it. Looks real nice like that. So I'm just going to keep sanding, and you'll see what a difference, how it looks. It brings up all those raised pieces on the wood. I have so many of this size boards that I can't wait to make more. I just want to run and find different napkins. I mean, I like this one with the pumpkin, but it's not really my favorite. And then the other napkin I have in the back there on the table that you can see, it's all leaves, but they were very hard to cut out because like they're attached to each other. So if you cut one leaf out, you're like cutting into another one. I don't know. I just didn't care for that. So I'm really going to look. I want to do one more piece for Thanksgiving, so I think I'm going to look for napkins that maybe have a nice turkey on it or something like that. So now that my piece is sanded and I dusted off the dust, I'm going to play around with where I want to put my napkins. And like I said, I end up cutting out I don't know if I have it on film. I cut out a piece that just has the words on it. So I'm going to put that down first, and then put the pumpkin over it. So see how the leaves look like when you cut it out? I wasn't too crazy about them, but so there's the piece with the words. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Mod Podge, and I'm just going to put a thin layer down wherever I want to put my napkin pieces. Then you're going to put the napkin on top, and then put more Mod Podge on top of it. And what I didn't film in here was after I did this, I just took some leaves that I had in a bag that I found from the centerpiece that I did in my dining room. And then I just hot glued some, you know, regular leaves around it, which I thought made it look a lot better. Like I said, I wasn't crazy about these napkins that I purchased, but it's what I had at the time, and I just wanted to do a project. So I wanted to see how it would come out. So even though it did come out nice, you know, it wasn't really my cup of tea, so I'm kind of glad my niece took it anyhow. But just so you get the point of how to do this. But just picture like a nice big turkey napkin, or for Halloween, if they have napkins that have like ghosts or bats or like a graveyard scene, that would look so nice on a piece of wood. You can paint the wood black and then, or stain it like a black or really dark and then distress it with like a gray instead of doing the Jacobean stain and the white, you know, make it like Halloween colors. Or you can even paint it like a dark black and distress it with purple. Like the possibilities are endless. So now on top of the lettering, the square, well, it was actually a rectangle piece with the words. Now I'm putting the pumpkin on top of that. And I'm just going to go with the Mod Podge. And this really does seal it very well to the wood. So you know, especially if you're leaving it in the house, there's no need to put like a polyurethane or anything over it, because this just really does seal it very well. So now that that pumpkin's all down, then I'm going to attach the leaves. See, it's hard to see the words, but my niece said she could see them. But, you know, the words were like give thanks and harvest and gather and, you know, all like that. Those nice words for the holidays. So now I didn't even realize I had that glue on top of my hand. But yeah, so now I'm putting the leaves on. And then, like I said, which I don't have in the video, I just hot glued, like, you know, the fake foliage, the leaves, you know, from the Dollar Tree that I took off of, like a bush. I just cut them off and then just glued them on the top. And I thought it just added a little something to it, a little bit more pop. But yeah, I'll be going out tomorrow shopping, and I want to look for different napkins because I really would like to make a real pretty one for my dining room for Thanksgiving. So now that's what I cut out on my Cricut machine. If you have a Silhouette Cameo or anything like that, you can use that. So this, it just says give thanks, and it's going to be my stencil. I forgot to bring my weeding tool down with me. It was upstairs in my craft room. I'm on my dining room table, and I really didn't feel like running upstairs to get it, so I was having a hard time. With the weeding tool, you just, it separates the vinyl from the backing so easy. So it was giving me a little bit of a hard time. So I'm trying to do it with the scissors now. I should have just ran upstairs and got it, but I was too tired and it was too hot upstairs. So you got to make sure all those little things stick in, because when you stencil, otherwise your letter's going to be solid. So I'm just trying to get it to stick to the top adhesive paper. There we go. Just got to get that one other little piece down. There, perfect. So now I'm just going to place that on the wood where I want it. Now normally I would put Mod Podge over that, Mod Podge, and what do you call it? Let that dry and then do the black paint, and that stops it from bleeding. But I don't think I did that here. I think I just went on it with the black paint, but I forgot that step. But normally, after you peel off your transfer tape, you would go in with the Mod Podge over where the letters are, and then this way it would like kind of seal it so that there's no bleeding when you put the paint on. But I just went right to the paint. I mean, I wasn't really crazy about this pattern with the napkins, like I said, so it really didn't matter to me. I just wanted to get it done at this point. But just to show you the technique of how to do it. But my niece loved it. She was so excited. She goes, oh, I'm going to put it on the mantle. She lives with her cousin, and she tries to decorate even though it's not her house. She rents a room from him, and she's always the one decorating. You know, she's young. She's 23 or 24. You know, and to go into Hobby Lobby and buy something like this, you're going to pay $29.95, you know, $24.99, something like that. So to just make it, like, I'll make her a few more. I know she wants stuff for Christmas. Christmas is her favorite. So I'll be doing more for Christmas, definitely for Halloween. So stay tuned and hit that notification bell, because I'm really, really going to make some nice Halloween ones. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to go online and look up Halloween napkins and order them online. Real nice ones instead of getting the ones from the Dollar Tree. So now that my stencil is on, that says give thanks, just going to let that dry a minute. Then I'm going to peel off the stencil and get the little circles out of the letters. And then that's when I put the leaves on it with the hot glue gun, but I didn't tape that part, so then you'll just see the picture of it on one of my tables in my dining room. So I'm just peeling off the stencil, and then I got to get the part out of the K, the A, the G, and the E, which I don't have my weeding tool, so it's upstairs. Like I said, I didn't feel like going up there to get it. I was being very lazy. It was hot. I was tired. I just wanted to get this done. And from cleaning the garage, going up and down the steps in the garage, because it's like an attic up there, my legs were killing me. My feet were killing me. I have bad legs, bad feet. And I just was not walking up the whole flight of steps into my craft room to get the weeding tool. So I did it with the scissors. It worked out fine. Usually I try to have everything that I need when I'm doing a project, but I just totally forgot to bring that down. But I got it out. There we go. And that's how you do a decoupage sign on wood with a napkin.